Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission.
Tell me a little bit about why do you have such a passion? You've given me this kind of backdrop, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Your passion for eating balut and food that Jesus says, eat what's set before you to win over these hearts. You're telling me about Bhutan and divine connections throughout Southeast Asia. Why does this matter to someone who's sitting back home in Alabama or in anywhere, let's say in our country, in America? Yeah. Why do you have such a passion for unreached, the 1040 window?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because it's going to touch on something that is something that burns inside my heart and frustrates me at times. And I can talk about the American church because I are one, as my dad says.
I are one.
Yeah, and so therefore I'm allowed to say some of the things that I'm about to say that can come across pretty strong. So our church was a missions church from the beginning. The church my dad pastored, the church I pastored, missions church, we would give 30%, 35%, different to missions.
That's
at
a
times.
Huge percentage for American church.
Huge, and it wasn't always that way, but we had many years where we were able to give that much and made that a focus. And my dad and the church in Coleman probably higher than that at this point.
Wow.
And the church I turned the church over to a young man, and he's taken it even to another level as far as missions giving. But I will tell you this, that probably the biggest blow-ups in the church that we ever had was over the issue of missions giving. We had gotten up to about 35%. When I was a senior pastor, we'd gotten up to about 35% missions giving. And we had a couple from the church, family from the church, actually several families, that all had teenagers and youth, and they wanted them to go to a concert for the teenagers to go to some concert or something. They brought it up and requested some funds, and they were declined. It wasn't in the budget. They were declined. So one of them got a hold of the financial statement of the church, which we put open for anyone to see. And they said, why is it that we give thousands of dollars to these people we don't even know over there in Asia, you know, and you won't even send our kids to a concert, here in town. And they actually showed up to a financial meeting to cause a big fight about this. And they were angry and wanted to know, why can't we spend $400 here when you spent thousands last month on these people we don't even know around the world? I said, well, first of all, because you can afford to go to a concert. That's number one. Let's just get off the table. Every one of you, I told them this, every one of you can afford to send your kids $20 a ticket to a concert, fairly certain. And if there's any of it that can't afford it, I'd be glad, just talk to me and I'll give you the $20. And you make more than I do, by the way. Most of them made more than me. But I'll give them the $20 if it's that big of a problem.
Okay, I'm going to pause you right there because you're talking about wealth around the world, and it's disproportionate.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, so I would encourage people to go on over to globalrichlist.com. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
You just type in your annual budget or your annual amount of money that you make. Type it in. It could be 21,000 poverty level for Arizona. Okay, right. 21,000. You'll be in the top 2% for the world's richest of the rich, and it'll equate it to X amount of people in other countries and how much they're making.
Okay, so there you go.
So that's one
reason.
reason.
People frustrated and saying, "Why aren't we spending this money on people we don't know?" I continue to actually get that question, which surprised me. We actually planted the church on the premise of being a mission church. And these people that came in later weren't understanding. I realized maybe I didn't do the best job continuing to explain to new generations why we're doing this. But their whole thing is, we don't, until we've reached everyone in America, why should we go reach anyone else? Well, first of all, we have to be obedient to what Jesus said, and that's to go everywhere. But secondly, if we had a group of 100 people in a room, and I had some really good, Krispy Kreme donuts, man, and they were just phenomenal, And we just kept feeding, the front row over and over and over. They'd become really fat and satisfied, but everyone else would be pretty frustrated.
I'd be pretty frustrated.
Exactly. If you're on the second row.
I know where to sit in your church.
Right.
First row, man.
Most American churches is where they're sitting. They're the American church, as Oswald Smith said, how can anyone hear the gospel twice until everyone's heard it once? Yeah. So this idea of continuing to feed over and over and over the same people and not bringing it to everyone else. Yeah. This became a heartbeat of ours. We said, I'm not going to apologize. In fact, we lost several people over this, and I was very happy when they left. And so this is how I knew I was being a missionary, because I said, you know what, this is the last time I'm having one of these conversations.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join His mission. This podcast is powered by Within Reach Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.